Hello, good morning. Good morning. No, it's afternoon now. Good afternoon. Hello. Happy Friday. It's apparently been a long week. Apparently audio is fine. Forgot to turn the audio of that preview down. But okay, we are ready to go. So this morning we recorded the video for Axum middleware, which means it's time to select the next lesson that we're going to work on. I can't upload this until tomorrow, so I'll probably get this done I'll probably get this uploaded either this weekend or sometime next week. I guess I'll announce this more. I'm going to be kind of on vacation, next week. I'm going to be going and visiting family. I don't know what my availability for streaming is going to be, so that's going to be, I might be able to stream a couple days of the week, but I'm not going. I'm going to remove the entire schedule because I have no idea. I'll announce it on X and Discord later. Okay, state with multiple routers. We might want to go back and do this one next, because I think we can do different types of state with the multiple routers, and I think I had mentioned that you couldn't do that originally. So this will be sort of like an addendum. All right, so let's create, you know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to add the .backup files to my gitignore. That would be helpful too. All right, let's first start by creating Axum state with multiple routers. Yep, that causes it to go away. It's fine. That's not what I wanted either. Okay, so Nick, hello. How are you doing today? I have a template somewhere. Yeah, Axum API template. I think we're going to want to update this. So what do we got in here? Well, I think we have old stuff in the cargo toml too. So what is it? Cargo update? Oh, and we have a new version of Rust as well. Oh, I totally forgot that. Let's update Rust. Now, if I remember correctly, there's not too big of a difference for this new version of Rust. So we have lint configuration through cargo, which this is pretty cool. Although oftentimes I end up doing allow. I only want to like allow for very specific spots, but I could see that like forbidding unsafe code or something else would be really nice. So I don't usually have a I usually don't need like a global rules. That being said, I could definitely see how it would be nice to like sort of set your own system. It would also be nice to potentially add these outside of cargo and then pull them in. I don't know. Oh, you could do it in a workspace lint and inherited by a lint workspace. Okay, so I mean that could be nice. Now, cargo registry authentication is one of those things where I'm actually excited for this, not because of what it allows us to do now, but I think that this is going to make it easier for us to move towards like a GitHub private repos for cargo. I've used GitHub private repos for node modules, and it works really well, and it's free. So if you just have a private repository on GitHub, you can just create a repository in there and just start using it across your accounts. So if you want to like just publish crates and not have them go to the main store, but just have them accessible to your entire, ecosystem of projects, this is like a private repository is a really nice system. And if it makes it so I don't have to set one up or use one myself, I would go for that. I don't remember how much of this I've run into in the past. But it makes me wonder if we're getting, like, this is another step closer to async traits, which might be, well, async traits is going to be a pretty huge deal. Okay, anything, I didn't look at anything from the stabilized APIs. Is there anything in here that we think is going to be pretty cool? Error other? I haven't even looked at it at all. Haven't really looked too much. They keep on increasing their minimum versions. That's fine. Michal, hello. How to download file in Axum. You have a problem with stream body. I don't know how to create an HTTP response from bytes. File vecu. Oh, we could play around with that instead. Start with that one, because we need to do that anyways. So maybe because multipart, like file downloading. So handling files, we could do that. Nasrallah, hello. Kind of a bit of hello there. Well, hello, kind of a bit of hello back. How are you doing today? we could do this. And a bit late. Well, we just started, so we're actually unless it's a bit late where you are. Yep, yeah, multipart is where we do that. So multipart for handling. Yeah, we can do a lesson. We need to do a lesson on this anyways, so I could just sort of, I don't know how far we'll get on this today. I only have my normal 2 hours, so we're gonna get as far as we can. And I've done multipart in many other APIs, but I haven't done it in Axum yet. So this is gonna be an exploration. That's gonna be fun. So let's gonna begin with back to here. So this is gonna be handling files or downloading files. So, or maybe Axum multipart bodies in the Axum. Okay, so I wanted to get my template up to date, but maybe before that we will I guess we could start with this template. We updated all. Oh, we want to do an update again. This is fine. What can I do? It's a GitHub like repo create from a template. Repository names is going to be in exploring Axum multipart. Uploading the files is usually pretty simple. It's just you respond with the file. Sometimes you have to do a stream, which we did do. We have done a stream before for uploading, and that's actually kind of simple. Downloading is usually a little bit harder, but Tower has some multipart middleware that we should be able to use. Is it middleware or is it just an extractor? I can't remember. One of the two. Yes. Okay, so this is, what did we call it? Exploring Axum multipart. All right, so here we go. We have you. This is what we're starting with. All of this fun stuff. I did not run an update on it. Let's do that now. Wait, what do I have in? I don't have typer, so I should be fine. So we're updating. I wish it showed me the top level things that updated. I guess technically, if we're doing some exploration stuff, let's throw on the exploration hat. As soon as I do my spider check. Exploration time. What's this HX program? Never heard it before. Also, hello, blah. HX is stands for Helix. Helix is the editor that I've been using. It's think of it, it's in the same space as Vim and NeoVim. If you want to take a look at it. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that. You want to take a look at it? That is a link to it. Okay, server is up and running. We're happy to go there. So we can get going. So now first of all, I want to check for Insomnia. Can I upload files, or am I going to have to create a little front end to do this? I don't think I've ever checked. Nope, didn't want to do that. Local scratchpad. New. How do I do a new request? So we could do a multipart form, binary file. Okay, cool. So this is what I want to do. I want to choose a file. We should probably create. What do we want to do with it? Well, you know what I could get. Oh, you've seen it around, but never found the name. Okay, yeah. So it's called Helix. A bunch of the streamers checked it out a while ago. I kind of was lazy and didn't check it out right away. I waited until a big update happened, and then after the update, which actually improved a lot of things that the other streamers were sort of not happy about. That was enough for me to sort of get going with it. And I think things are looking good with it. Okay, so do I have an image? I don't think I have. Oh, you know what? We can just steal the image from my own website. Okay, so that saves it as an SVG. So I now have this in my downloads folder. So I'll be able to select you as my image, and I want to, sure, yes, you can be that. So the idea here is, here's what we want to do. We want to create a route in Axum to accept this file, download it and save it to disk, and then I want to be able to open it back up in something that can handle it. So right now I'm on a Mac. I can open this in, it opens in Chromium. No? Fine though. If it can open in Chromium again, I'm okay with that. As long as it's like still a valid SVG file. I basically don't want to lose like any of the content of the file. I don't like it because it's going to come in as multipart. We could also do a large file, but I don't have a really large file that's like a binary right now, at least on this computer. So that's not going to work. But we'll start with this one. Okay, so what are we going to call this? We're going to call this probably like multipart, like save file. I would imagine this should be a post request because we are creating something. Okay. So we're going to start one thing at a time. Let's just tracing. I don't actually know if I'm seeing that. Let's find out. So if I hit to you're a post. You're on 3000 because I didn't update you with a random number, but that's fine. Okay, there it is. I have info, got it. We can see that, yeah. Okay, that's good. Okay, next up. I want to get the file. Hey Chantilly, we're kind of doing exploration. So for the next lesson, we're going to be doing file downloads because that's kind of important for an API app. And I haven't done it in Axum before, so we're going to explore how to do it so I can write the lesson on it. For some of these more like deeper things that I've like kind of done, or at least I've done in other APIs. Yeah, it's going to be nice. Also, like I like to break out the hat every once in a while. It changes things up. I was thinking, like, I keep on thinking that I should get hats for every modality that I'm in. So like, okay, normal dev is maybe no hat, but then like, you know, we've got our business sort of chat hat, we've got our designer hat, we've got our exploration hat. It's all fun. Okay. So tracing info. A top hat. Oh, a top hat could be good for the business hat, right? Like get a top hat. I was almost thinking that I can get a clip-on tie and I can like put a top hat and just like clip on a tie really quickly, and then like that's like a business suit. Like I'm the CEO of a company type thing, like a C-level. Every day is a hat day. Yeah, and it could be different. Okay, so I want to get the file now. So we need to talk about multipart. We need to figure out. So if you're not aware, normally when we send just a thing, you get just the object, right? And we can just extract that using JSON. But when it comes to files, some of those files are really, 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 really big. Oh, Chantilly, if you're online, maybe you can help out. Can you find a large fun image, like safe for stream image that I can use as an example here? Something that's like, because right now the image I have is really small. It's just a couple K. But like a megabyte or two, because usually when you get to a certain size, you can't actually just send it all in one chunk. So it streams, and then you use multipart to sort of get chunk, and you stitch it together in memory and then dump it to disk. Or sometimes you dump it to disk in chunks and then sort of append it into the file. And that's how you can have your server handle large uploads. And that's how you can handle like pretty much as large as whatever systems you have going on. Oh, a space picture from NASA could be good. Yeah, we can use like the is there I used to do this. I used to go to the astronomy picture of the day and just download it and set them as my backgrounds, because they were amazing. And I haven't gone there in years. So we could do that. But before we do that, I'm gonna go and we're gonna look at multipart. The new photos are really cool. I haven't looked at them at all, even though they have so many better satellites up, and they're going to be getting some really cool stuff. Now, you don't have anything in here. That's fine. We're going to search for multipart. Wait a second. Do you just have an extractor? Oh, it's form data. Okay, available in create feature multipart only. Extractor that parses multipart form data requests commonly used with file uploads. Okay, okay. So this looks like it might be good. So we need the create feature multipart. Since extracting multipart form data from the request requires consuming the body, the multipart extractor must be the last. Okay, so standard like body extractor. We have an example. So we're going to get a multipart is just multipart like that. Okay. So let's try that. Well, let's mute field. Okay, so we're going to do multipart next field. We're going to await the unwrap. Okay, so multipart next field. Await unwrap. Okay, so while let sum. So this is gonna be fun. So this is a while loop while we're also extracting an option in here. Ooh, okay. The image of the day. Oh yeah, some of these are. This is really cool. The space ones are really cool. Oh, the rocket launch is really cool. This is from, oh, this is the Falcon 9. November 9th. That was 8 days ago. Yeah, these are really cool. Some of these can get astronomically large. That is 3.6 megabytes. I think we can do better. Wait, that's a WebP. I don't want a WebP. I want... Isn't there a... How do I get the actual, like, the original file, like a not, I don't want a JPEG. If I could get like a TIFF or something, that would be best. The Galaxy one is 10K. So that's the Galaxy one. Yeah, it was like 8 point something K with 8.7K. There's the Crab Nebula. This one's, yeah, this one's pretty huge. The downloads, oh, this one's a PNG. There we go, 123 megabytes. That's definitely going to require multipart. Okay, there's no way that I can accidentally like be able to just do that in one go. It has to be in multiple chunks now. Perfect. Exactly what we want. So we get multipart. Then we are going to loop through, and so while there is a next, so basically we're going to get the next field. So multipart is it a iterator? Doesn't really tell us that much. So it's obviously going to be part. So we call it the field. Oh, we can have the name and then the data. So we have I'm going to almost call this like a part, but maybe that's not correct. We'll do their name. We await, so that's asynchronous to grab that. Now it's unwrapping because this gives us a result option field. Okay, so then we want to be able to handle this as an error. I don't really care about if we're successful or not, so I'm going to return just a status. Yeah, let's just do a status code. We'll do something like that. Let's see. Ninjatron! Hello! Thank you so much for the raid. How are you doing today? How was your stream? Not too shabby. A unit test day for GRLX. Nice. I mean, unit test days are important, right? Because testing's important. Well, glad you had a good stream. Welcome everybody. We are working on a course for Axum. Today we're exploring multipart. So before I write the article and sort of create the code examples for it, we're going to explore how this works and figure it out. And once we get that, we're going to be able to write the article and create a video for getting it done. And so far it doesn't seem too bad, although we haven't actually done it yet. So that's an entire thing all on its own. So we just downloaded a nice large 120 megabyte file, an image that we're going to use to sort of like test to make sure that we can bring it through our system, save it to disk, and make sure that it's still openable and still is an image. The focus of this article is going to be downloading files in Axum or handling files using multipart. So that's going to be the focus. We haven't started writing it yet. Like, it's just, this is the article so far. It's not really anything yet. We're focusing on the code first. I know, fun. It is fun stuff. So here we go. We have a route handler here. We're taking in an extractor multipart. Multipart does consume the body, so it has to be last here, but we only have one thing. Multipart allows us, so the way it works is we're going to get chunked like a stream of data from the front end. So in this case, we're using the Insomnia API client. Think Postman or Thunder client, something like that, or like a browser, and it's going to send us bits and pieces of the file, one after the other. So it's just going to be coming down to us. We have to catch each part as in this multipart and then do something with it. So in this case, well, so far we just got, okay, get the next chunk. So we have a chunk of it right now, which is in this field. And looking at the instructions, we can grab the name of this thing out. So that name equals, okay, for field name. Now they're doing a lot of unwraps and they're converting it to a string. So I wonder what that is. And then we have data, which is bytes, but we know that we could just potentially just write the bytes to a file and append it to the file. Ooh, okay, so the field name found in a content disposition header, but then we also have the file name found in a content disposition header. Interesting. So I wonder what the difference between these are. Let's grab that. So what? You're an option. That's why I did the, okay, so let's do, nope, not that. Let's do unwrapper default. Not unwrapper default. Let's do unwrap or else. And you're going to be a stir, right? You're going to be a stir. So we'll just say, we'll just call it name. And then there was the file name. How did you end up down there? Wait, what? I'm doing down arrow to select that, and it's I am confused about that. Okay, so file name. Stop it. Okay, so I get that. You're upset because I'm not returning something like an okay. Ooh. Expected a function closer found a string. Oh, right. You need to be a that. Okay. What are you upset about? Cannot borrow multipart is mutable. Okay, so it does need to be mutable here. And then there's the data. Now we can get, okay, so we get bytes, text, content type, headers, chunk. I wonder what the difference, okay, so bytes get the full, man, look at that. It keeps on trying to put that down below. I don't like that. Get the full data of the field as bytes. Well, I wonder if that's like waiting until it get, oh no, it's full data of like each field, each section. Oh, you still don't understand closures in Rust, but that was neat. Oh, thanks. So, are you familiar with closures in like JavaScript or Lambda functions in Python or something like that? They're pretty much exactly the same thing. They just have different syntax. Badruddin, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, yeah, so you do understand those. Excellent. So just think of those as like one-to-one drop-in replacement. In something like JavaScript, Yeah, so basically think of it like a nameless function. So this is the equivalent in JavaScript of me doing that. And to show how I can like how similar this actually is, I can do like let default name is equal to closure is like a new namespace that a function closes on, right? Yeah, that I haven't really thought of it in that way. I think in my mind, whenever I thought of closure, I just thought of like I just used the name like function like little anonymous function in my mind. Oh, and it's because Rust has the return syntax, it's even cleaner. I think, yeah, because like in JavaScript, if you have that auto return and arrow functions, but it's sort of like only auto returns and arrow functions and nowhere else, but it makes sense in Rust because you have auto return everywhere. But yeah, so like this is absolutely doable. All right, what happened here? This is terrible. Okay, so what is going on with my code here? Something got screwed up. Okay, so you're upset. So default name equals that. Why are you tabbed in? You don't, okay, why are you not tabbed in? How about that? I like that. We're getting the field, okay. This is part of the while let, so we're okay there. Oh, no, why are you expecting a semicolon? I want to return this. Well, let some field. Do I need to semicolon you? No. I'm not returning out of the while loop, so it's not a, I don't need a semicolon there. Why? Helix is like not happy with me today for some reason. Okay, so we're returning status code okay. And function save file, that's fine. I want to return result status codes. That's an okay. Did I like import something that I didn't want to? No, I don't see that. Oh, unmatched closing. Well, that would certainly do it. Oh, these suck. Okay, so starting over here, we have this opens. That matches with you, so that makes sense. So that means somewhere else I have an open bracket. So that opens. Okay, so this is part of the closure for the map error, which then closes here. And then I close you there. Again, then I question mark, which then means you should open for the while function. And then you close for the while function. It's just undo until eventually I don't have any errors anymore. So mismatch. Okay, so if I throw a to do in here. Could not compile. Could not compile because save file results test code set. Does it not like this? It should be fine with that. Oh, one more above that? Okay. Also, Xanax, hello. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm not. Okay, so you're... Let's restart and then see if Helix is a little bit happier. It's definitely not happy. It froze. Okay. We're back. Let's go to the main router and see if it yells at me here. Okay. You're not yelling at me yet, which is... There you go. Okay. Oh, look at that. So I have multipart here and multipart. I don't think I want you. Oh, I'm okay. So this, ooh, okay. What did you call it in here? That could have been a problem. Okay, we're back to running again. All right, so we have our file name, we have our name. Now let's get we're gonna get the bytes, which is gonna be the data, right? So now this one is gonna be an error, so we can map error for this one. Now that's not you. I want you. Okay, so now we have our bytes. Why are you capitalized? Okay, so now we have our bytes. So I can't convert this to a string because we're uploading a binary file, or at least like an image file. Is an image a binary? I think it might actually be something else. But regardless, it's not a string, so I can't actually convert that to a string. So we get you, we can get like the length of this and figure out how many of it, how big this is. But the point that I want to do with this is I want to save this to a disk, which you're not really helping out here, are you? This is the one problem that I have with like the The documentation here kind of doesn't do everything that I want. Like it's really close, but I really wish like, okay, well, what do I do with this? Like I need to open up a file for writing and they need to append this in. So maybe before we start getting this, we need to open up a file. So it's been a while since I've done this. Is there a file? Nope, that's not what I want. Standard IO. I need to remember where to go to get the file stuff. FS, standard FS file. Now I want to attempts to open a file in a read-only mode, but I want to open this in write mode. So I guess this is probably not, we probably want the write. Is there no write on this? Oh, you're thinking standard IO write. We might have to. A trait for no, that's not okay. So that's what I want. I want the trait. Opus Bopus, hello. How are you doing today? Standard FS write. Yeah. Well, okay. It's a write slice as the entire contents of file. This function will create a file if it does not exist and will entirely replace its contents if it does. I don't think this is what I want. Oh, I have to use file create. Okay. Doing all right, starting a lecture for a programming language and got a new monitor finally. Nice, excellent. I'm doing pretty good. It's Friday, end of the week, done with my day job, and we're working on some Rust stuff, so always fun. It does seem to accept binary data being passed in. So the question is going to be, am I getting, so let's see. Am I getting this data over and over and over again? So if I get the data, let's do tracing. Tracing info, and we want data size. Oh, you're not going to help me? Data.length. So we're going to get data length over and over and over again, and we're going to see. Okay, so you have write line. Well, write line is going to just write it out to standard out, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. Write line, you can write it to a file or a file writer or something like that. Right, I forgot about that. That might work. That might work. Let's try hitting this with their small image first and see what we got. Except you're all upset. I don't want to do all that stuff yet. so we're okay with this. Okay, so I got a 400 bad request. Invalid boundary for multi-part form data request. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. Okay, so invalid boundary. So we get the multi-part, we have the field. We are not getting any errors printed out here because I don't see any error logs. I guess one question is, so this is like one of my standard debugs techniques is like, where does the error occur? Let's find out. So we're going to do my favorite trick. Nope, that's in the map error. That's too much. Okay, so this is usually faster than me attempting to set up a debugger and like step through the code. And we can find exactly where it's failing pretty quickly. Oh, I guess we got this to do in here too. That's probably not going to help. Multi-part stuff is something I really wish Axum had some sugar for. My guess, because they've been adding like nice sugar for a lot of different things over the years, my guess is that of like they're going to get to 1.0 and then we're going to start seeing dot releases for sugar and like developer experience updates, which are going to be really nice. I could see that for a bunch of these, or some macros to handle it. Already the extractors are pretty nice for most of them. I think some of these extractors can be a little bit nicer, but that being said, it's still pretty nice. Okay, so let's run this and see what we got. So I got no infos in here. I did save, right? Yeah, okay. So we saved, we're running. So here's an info server running, and then we have only debugs here. Request a post, use save file, started processing request, finished processing request 400. So it never got into here. I wonder if it's because it didn't check that. So if I take out this while loop, and I don't run you, it doesn't hit you. If I take out that, there's our one. Okay, so just adding in the multi-part means it didn't work. So that's not That's not great. I wonder what we need. Now, you're not doing anything different here. We have just route, upload, post, uploads. That's what we're doing essentially. In Rust, 1.0 means we've started on a new project. It shouldn't mean that, though. I mean, if you take a look at like Axum or some of the other projects that have gone to 1.0, that doesn't mean that. So it reminds, does anybody remember back in the old days of npm with Node? They initially had all the projects start with 0.0.0.02 or as well. And there were so many projects in they did so many projects with, what is it called? What, my mind blanked out. They did so many projects with oh yeah, there's just so many like 0.0 like 0.1 or 0.1.0, like so many beta looking projects. So then eventually npm, because they didn't want too many things to not look 1.0, they just changed the default version number for projects to be 1.0.0, and then just magically overnight all new projects started with that because people weren't changing the default, so everything started with 1.0. I kind of feel, to be honest, I appreciate the V0 approach over the approach of doing a major version bump every 8 months. I mean, the problem with starting with a V0 is that it's generally accepted in the industry that anything that starts with a 0 is not ready for production. And even though you can argue in the Rust community, oh yeah, these are totally ready for production, try arguing that to an enterprise or a government or a hospital or like some big organization where literally everything else follows the other scheme. You're not going to get anywhere with your arguments. So I kind of wish that we just like go more towards the let's just get beyond this thing. Let's make it not be a meme anymore. It cries in React. That's the thing, is like, who cares if we have like 79 versions in the major? It's okay. It's okay. We have a lot of numbers. We can handle a lot of numbers. Okay, so why are you unhappy? This is interesting. I just bring in multipart. So hold on, let's just get rid of, I want to start over at this. Let's go back to this. If I just do that and we don't do anything else, now we're going to get an error, aren't we? Invalid boundary for multipart form data request. Interesting. Okay. Now, looking at this, now we're at Axum 062. I did do an update, but I want to make sure. Yeah, we have Axum 062. Okay, so everything there is fine. Our router looks normal, so we have a post to save file. Okay, so that looks fine too. I feel like if I couldn't even use as much Rust to unstable for a project and consider something like Go instead, everything I push to prod that's Rust uses some unstable features for various reasons. Yeah, Yeah, okay, so lucky you don't have to deal with heavy restrictions like that. The problem comes like if you're trying to if you work for an organization that's like SOC 2, FedRAMP, or any other like certified for something like that, they're going to require that you do not use beta software unless you have absolutely no other choice. And they're going to like inspect that kind of stuff. And you enforce it with code too. So like it becomes, it's not like it's impossible. Like you can absolutely get that done and still get like SOC 2 authorized. But the less you have to talk to people who are like not technical, and explain why you're using that, the easier it is. Just get it done. Java Spring Boot has entered the chat. Also, hello Nathan, how are you doing today? You never even heard of those? I'm having to do a lot of SOC 2 stuff at work recently, and so I'm becoming painfully aware of how much stuff needs to be done for it. Okay, now the only thing that's different is using this futures util stream ext. But that's the only different thing. Okay, so if it feels like it shouldn't be this. Futures util. Do I have to pull in futures util as a crate? I don't think I have this. It's like if I pull this in, you're gonna yell at me because we don't have futures util. Okay, that wasn't the problem. I was worried about that. So I worked in healthcare. So I don't work in healthcare directly, but the company I have my day job for creates training for nurses, and so like that, it's healthcare adjacent. And so if we want to be able to sell to hospitals, we need to be able to match like the hospital security postures, and that's really important. Trying to escape the JVM and write some Rust in the wild. Nice. Let's go to the repository. I wish that didn't open up in the same window. And take a look at their examples. Maybe this will have something for us. So there's form. I don't think that's what oh, multipart form. Oh, well, they actually, their example has just like a full form too. Okay, except form. Multipart. Now, except form is used on line 28. Oh, I don't think I've ever done this before in route. Like get showform dot postform all in the same route. Oh, I think that's basically it's both on these. That's how that works. I'm not a huge fan of that because it's easy to miss. I like to just I would rather just merge or nest the routers. Yeah, it should just be a while loop, but we're not even getting to the while loop. Okay, so you're having this route show form post accept form. Could you be upset with this? Let me turn off my layer just in case it really hates the HTTP logger. Oh, and I wouldn't want to put this here anyways. This goes in here potentially. It's not used. Okay, so every change, you test it. Okay, so it's not that logger. For some reason, your laptop has decided it's time to sound like a jet engine and everything is idle. Hope that's not a bad sign. In the past, I've seen that as like, I mean, there could be so many things that causes heat, like lots of heat to go on. You know, something else that I remember a while back, it hasn't happened to me in a long time, but in the old days, if for some reason the sensor couldn't detect the set temperature of anything, it would just ramp up the fans to max. Because like it's basically just like, I have no idea what's going on, so maximum protection. Oh, and Windows does that to me all the time. My Windows fan just like turns on at random times to full blast. I don't know what's going on there. But I've not really been a Windows admin in so many years. I just don't know what happens in Windows computers anymore. Okay, so you're fine. You're still unhappy. I'm trying to select this file to send a post to it. Invalid boundary. Okay, well let's try Googling this, see what we get. Now this one's interesting. So this is saying that the content type could be wrong. Let's check. What are you trying to set this to? You're trying to set content type to this. What if I don't set you? Or rather, what if I set you to be you? No? Okay, so that's not it. Okay, so here's an Axum issue. Okay, it's closed. So they're trying to send... Oh, that's not a file. Is it a file? Oh no, okay. Oh, convert it into a discussion. Which is unanswered. Great. Okay, that takes us to here. macOS has less fuss but less power. Prefer running on x86. I don't really mind with the Mac. It seems to be fast enough for what I want to run on it. So far I've been pretty happy. There was a period of time that the Macs weren't that great and that were clearly slower, but with the new M chips, that seems to have gone away. Is this the same? No, this is different. I don't like this. This is like creating a custom handler, isn't it? JSON or form, yeah. I don't like that. It is pretty impressive. Okay, so wait, so is this their I don't like that. But let's take a look at their other issues. There's only 29 open issues. This is April 21st, which is not that long ago. This makes it sound like they don't have a multi-part extractor. Then what is this? I'm in Axum. Extract multipart. Is this like not what we expect? I suppose we should also test to see whether or not it's this file, like whether or not it's Insomnia doing something weird. We have other systems here, so we have I have PA, which became Rapid API. Was it file part or file, what's it called? Save file. So body. Okay, so we have file. So I wonder if that's what it is. It's not multi-part form, it's like something different. We could also go with this file. I kind of want to go with this small one first. Wait, what did I get? What's the error? URL not supported. Can I not see what the error is? Oh, that's not a correct. Okay. All right. Now, if I did multipart like this, this is, oh. That's what it is. Okay, got it. Thank you, Opus. Yeah, I saw that too late. It's a re-export from the Axum extra crate, which is also maintained by the Axum team, and they basically just want to move it. Well, some of them want to move it, some of them want to keep it, looks like. Now, what's interesting, so this is multi-part, which is different than file. Okay, so the problem was that I was sending it in the wrong way. So we have part and then this. Now if we come back to here, we can see, here's my one. So now that we know how to do that, Insomnia, it's not, I want to do a multi-part form, name, this would be image, and then the value would be a file. Boom. Okay, that now works. We got it. Oh, that was a fun move around. So now we get this back in play. That's good. We come here. We probably don't need you. Okay, everything's still going good. Okay, so I don't need this one anymore. Okay, so we're gonna do our while let. So it's a part of this. So we go through the multipart, we get a field. Ooh, I don't like the fact that, okay, so I want to be able to do the tab thing, but I can't do it if I have like a little pop down box, which is kind of annoying. Do I need that? I don't think I do. I do need the semicolon there. Okay. Wait, I don't need the semicolon? What's going on? Uh-oh. Okay, so while that sum equals multipart next field. Oh, I know. It's looking for that. You need to be mute. Okay, there we go. Getting somewhere now. Then we can get the name. Since I'm writing in here, I might as well just put it in as a default. So field name, this will be name. Okay, so now I have all this stuff. So I could print this out and figure it out. MD Tro or TRO, hello. How are you doing today? Thank you for that. Yeah, so we're using Helix and Zellige together. And I do like it. It looks nice. Okay, so processing field and multipart. I guess we'll do this multiple times, right? So we'll just do tracing. Cannot move out of field because it is borrowed. Wait, when did I borrowed field here? So can I deref that? No, I can't. Wait a second. Why? Getting the name borrows that? That's why they're two stringing it. Oh, okay. That's why they're two stringing it there. Okay, so I'm doing unwrap or I wonder. It's. So I can two string you and then I make you. Where's my cursor? Two out. Okay, so you like that. You're okay with that one, so we'll just do the same thing. Okay, so now I mean, not pretty, but I suppose it works. Okay. Let's full screen this. So we got processing field and multipart, name, image, file name Brooks Builds SVG, data 6818. That just was one hit. It went through one time. Let's see if it does the same thing with the larger image. $500 server error. Error getting field bytes. Error parsing multi-part form data request. Response classification status code 500. Okay, so basically it couldn't get error getting field bytes. Okay, so that was this one right here. So trying to get these bytes here. This is an actual error. I wonder if this one needs to be chunks. Okay, let's try that. Because the other one is chunk, right? So stream a chunk of the field data. When the field data has been exhausted, this will return none. Okay. So do I want to... I'm curious about the while loop here. Because the last one, it just like, I got it all in one go. So it was just like one part of it, I think. Because the file was that small. This one is too big of a file, so I need to do it differently. So if I get chunk, it's a result option bytes. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Now I wonder if it's gonna go through each time and then get another chunk out, or if I loop through here. I feel like it loops through here to get all the chunks. I think that's what's gonna happen. So chunk, we await, you say your result, okay, but then we still have an option. So then we can make this a sum. If I get a none, we're done. And so we want to break out. Okay, so yeah, this works. So sum. Else, so if there's nothing out here, we can tracing info, no more parts to the file. And we can break out of the function. Cannot borrow field as mutable. Okay, so field must be mutable now. Okay. Server running. Let's try this again. So processing that. Okay, so we got name image, file name. So we got 7872. So we got the first part of this image, and then bam, error getting next field. So okay. So error getting next field. Then we got an error in here. I think it does. Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay, so we have one field on this multipart here. So we're not sending a file, we're just sending a single field. This is the loop through all of these things. But then for this one, it's a file. So I need to loop through this one here. Got it. Okay, so we need to now... Okay, so inside this one field, we need to loop through the chunks. We need to loop through, we need to get the chunks. Until there are no more. So what does that mean for this? We need to get some data. So it's going to be, I need a while loop. So it becomes a while let again. So while let some data bytes chunk. Okay. I guess I don't need an else for this. Oh, I'm not doing this right. Hold on. So while let some data field turn, okay, so then I do the map error. That closes here. So then I want to, while I'm getting you, I now have the data. So I want to put this stuff in here. Server running. Boom. Okay. All right, a little bit better. So we have 7872, 16384. So we're getting a bunch of bytes from here. And then error getting chunk. Error parsing multipart form data request. Interesting. Well, okay, so error getting chunk. So then we get this error here. Am I getting this because I get a none and then I try again? Can I do an, is there an else on an if while let? Is that a thing? Well, S loops are not supported. Consider moving this else clause to a separate, okay, there's no while else. Okay, so while let some, like, so theoretically, while this is a true, right? Can you break on an if instead of the closure? I mean, I could, but I don't. I'm getting this on a while if some. While we have some bytes here. That's to there. I wonder if I can get, okay, so can I see? Okay, is there anything that gives me more information? So this is a chunk. So this is the bytes, I think we're getting back. So I'm getting, okay, so let's go to next field. Next field gets us this field. Field, we get a chunk. Okay. Stream a chunk of the field data. When the field data has been exhausted, this will return none. Note this does the same thing as field stream implementation. Interesting. Okay, so we get the field. Okay, and here's the thing that we were doing. Inside the whilelet, for the multipart, we get a whilelet sum chunk field chunk await. We map the error, received bytes, chunk.length. Okay, so that's what we expect, but then that just ends. Why did you fail? Okay, so whilelet sum. Okay, so here we go. We have our whilelet sum field, so we get the field for each field. We get the name, we get the file name, we then start looping through. So now we do whilelet sum data. We get the data in bytes, we do the field chunk, we await, we map that error, we question mark u, we go into here, and now we get the data length, so we can get that information, and then we're done. We don't have a second thing to go to. Can you break on an if instead of the closure? I should. I could. So I could just break on this instead. So we could just. Oh no! Wait. I wouldn't want to map the error then. I would just want to be able to handle this. I could convert it to an option, and then that would become a none, right? Why are you upset? Oh, because now you're an option here. So it's a result. Oh, because now it's a double option. Now it's a double option. Oh no. Okay. I don't like this. But it compiles. It's a different problem. I feel like we're missing something. Size hint. Returns the bounds on the remaining length of the stream. Let's find out what the size hint is. So while we get this, Okay, so wait a second. Where is that? This is... Okay, so get a chunk. Oh, the wait. Okay, so that's not a... Okay, so I want chunk to give us these bytes. And then off of bytes. Okay, so now we're from the bytes thing. Oh, no. Okay. This is not... I don't know if this is helpful. So I can get it off a field. Okay, so I get a usize and option. Let's just print this out. So we'll do tracing info. Let's see if we reach 0 or something, and then it just crashes after 0. So we have... Okay. Size hint is... Size hint. 0. Okay, I want to turn this into a different color. Let's make this a warrant. Okay, so we got a bunch of these things. So we warn, size hint, 0 none, 0 none, 0. Okay, so it's the entire time it's been 0 none, which is not helpful in the least. Okay, so now I did field chunk. Okay, what's field stream? It says was the same implementation, but maybe it's a little bit nicer. Does it give us like something? I mean, I suppose I could try doing this more of a manual loop as opposed to a while let. Just like a while, like just do a loop and then we'll manually break out of it. I kind of want to do that just to see what we get. So, okay, let's try this again here. So we're going to do loop. All right, so inside of our loop, I want to okay, let some. Okay, so I want to do this. I want to go back to some level of sanity in here. Okay, so while let sum equals this is going to be a single thing that we're getting. So Otherwise, if it's a none, I want to break out of this. So we're going to do a tracing info, like no more chunks. And we can break. So at this point in time, we don't need you. Don't need you. I don't need the size hint because that wasn't helpful. Okay, processing field and multipart. We get the name. Which is up here. So we have the name, the file name. And then the data, which we get, okay, so data.length. And then we don't need that size hint anymore. And then that, theoretically, that should just end, and we're not really doing anything with the file. Interesting. Okay. Andrew, hello. How are you doing today? Thank you. It's our exploration hat. We're exploring multipart in Axum. Let's see. So we go through this and then it just error getting. So it doesn't. Now pull next. Does it consume that? It's a mutable self, mutable reference to self. So maybe I might be okay. Wait, what am I on? I'm on, oh, this is a field. This is not, okay, hold on. That's not what I want. So chunk. Which then gives us a result option bytes. What if we tried a less massive field file? Yeah, we can do that. The only problem, let's see. So we have you 3.7 megabytes. Okay, let's try it small again. So that's okay. But it all goes in one chunk. So it doesn't have to loop through and go over it. Now we get this no more chunks. That's interesting. I wonder. No, I'm not. Nylon. Hello. How are you doing today? I wonder if that's it. Oh, default. I didn't even think about that. Oh, I bet that's what it is. How do I do that? Layer for configuring the default request body limit. Oh, for security reasons, bytes will by default not accept bodies larger than 2 megabytes. Well, that's a problem. That's a problem. This also applies to extractors that uses bytes internally, such as string, JSON, and form. This middle provides a way to configure that. Default body limit and request body limit serve similar functions but different ways. Default body limit is local, and it only applies to from request implementations that directly apply it. You can apply a limit with request extension with limited body or blah blah blah. Okay. Oh, so I can do this as a layer, default body limit max, and then set. What is it in? Is it in bytes, megabytes? Request body limit is applied globally to all requests. Default body limit is okay, so I don't want request body limit. I want default body limit and that I put on the specific layer. Okay. So for this specific route, we want to do a layer, route layer, default body limit, sets the default limit by default the limit. Okay, yeah, that's great. But what is this disable? I'm pretty sure that's not a good idea. I should probably set this to be like whatever we want it to be, max. We could just disable. Here, okay, we'll do disable first. Okay, so if I do that, you're running. Okay, you're fine and happy. And if I switch you back to the really large one, there we go. It's happy again. So look at this. It's sending all these different chunks here. Now this is in bytes, right? So we could add up all these bytes together and expect it, yeah, just a big security hole. No biggie, of course. But how many bytes? This says it is 129.3 megabytes. So I want megabyte to byte. This is, let's see, for E plus 8, it's I move over the decimal 8 times, right? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. That feels about right. So it's a little tiny bit more. Like if I do okay, so this looks right. Yeah, so it was megabyte to byte. Yeah, I think Insomnia is sending 5 megabyte packets instead of 2. And that's fine, right? But I want a limit of this. So this is just a tiny bit more than the file size I have. So if instead we do max, and we set you to be that, that's our new limit. Then this file should still work. It should still be fine. And if we send you, you are unhappy. It wasn't good enough. That wasn't enough. Maybe a little bit more. or like 139. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, so I need to be a little bit more generous with how much data I allow it to have. Seems like Mac gives file size in megabytes and Windows gives it in mebibytes? I've never heard of mebibytes. So I found Linux usually uses power of 2, so mebibytes, for example. So wait, when I was taught all of this in school, it was a capital B is power of 2. Lowercase is just, you know, power of 1,000 or something, power of 10. So like a capital MB would be the 10, you know, 1024, 2048, that kind of thing. But okay, so anyways, we're coming close, like whatever the number really needs to be. We've got that working. Okay, so we get the no more chunks. Okay, so we're happy with that. Completely forgot that we need to handle that. So then the next part here is I want to now save this. Now we're getting these clearly in just like little chunks. So I want to write and append to a file. That's what I want to do. So we have this chunk here. So we have this data in bytes. I want to open a file and append to it. So I need to actually get the file. Oh, what is it called? Oh, it's MIB instead of MB. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Oh yeah, look at that. So if I do, instead of mega, oh, I think I was looking at the difference between megabyte and bit. That's what I was thinking of. But what I really want is, I have megabyte and I want mebibyte is what we want, which is this. So that's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is probably what I want. There we go. Okay. Yeah, mebibyte. I was never taught about that one. That's interesting. Okay, but either way, not really important to figure out exactly what we need here. Just knowing that we need to do something like that. So now what I want to do is I want to create a file by this file name and then start writing out to it. So I want to probably open up a write. So we want a write handler so that or like file, so standard IO. Now it's a trait object, but I actually want like a file. Now I can open, so attempts to open a file in read-only mode. I can, okay, so opens a file in write only mode. This is what I want. So write only mode, and then what happens if I do this in relative? Is this going to work? Oh, what's the, I forget the command to scroll down inside of here. This function will create a file if it does not exist and will truncate it if it does. So it will like basically just start writing it over again. And it doesn't tell me what the path will be. So this is gonna be fun. Okay, so if I do slash, I wonder if this is actually slash to the entire like of my computer, which in that case I need to be careful with that. The problem wasn't the packet size, the problem was the maximum request allowed for the request. Yes, that's what it was. Yes, let's use dot slash just in case. And I want, now can I do a path? So extract path, no, this is an extract path. Standard path. I want to create a new path. Is there like a join? Creates an owned path buff with a path adjoined to self. Okay, so I want self path. Oh, So we do new. Directly wraps a string slice as a path slice. Okay, so I want new. So we're gonna start with like dot slash, like that, and then I want to join the path, and I would like to take the name, something like that. Why aren't you letting me do map error on this? This is a result. Why can't I map error? You don't need dot slash. Okay, cool. I was not sure about that. It's a result file error. Why? Yeah, I'm confused why it's not helping me with this. Oh wait, I have 27 errors. What's going on with all this? Okay. Okay, tracing error, opening file for writing. Mismatched closing delimiter. Oh, that's not happy. So hold on. If I don't do the path, and I just don't care about path joining, oh, I think I see what the problem is. So if we just do the name like this, there we go. That's what we got. Just past the string. So we're gonna name it the name, basically the name that we set this to, which is not a good idea. Normally you don't necessarily want, like, we probably want to do a whole bunch of different things, like to create a really random name, maybe like a UUID name, but for this only I'm running this, so we're good to go. Okay, so I have a file now, and which means I can write to this. I think you need to be mutable, but we'll get to that when we get to it. I want to, at this point here at the bottom, we're going to do file dot, can I write? Oh, okay. So I have to write all. So attempts to write an entire buffer into this writer. Writes a formatted string into this buffer. I think I want to write all. And then the buffer is going to be the data. And then I want to... It's bytes, right? So can I just do that? Okay, so you do need to be mutable. Okay, sort of figured that. Server's running. Oh, I probably could have done right line too. Yeah, I probably could have done right. So I could have used the macro, but I'm just using write all. I think this is going to work. But we are going to find out. So let us... What do I want to do for this? Okay, so if I open up use, we can see this. If we open up a new window here, here's everything we got. There's not any new files in here. We don't see any. So let's go ahead and we'll run the upload. And here's the new image that we didn't have before. It is just called image, but if we take a look at it, it knows that it's a PNG image. So the metadata for the file got set correctly. So that's great. The problem obviously is that we didn't, I didn't properly give it a, whatever it's called, but if I open image, it tries to actually open it, but okay, it sees it's a PNG. That's okay. Let's remove the image. I need to set the dot, like the file type essentially. Can I get that from the file type? Like a type, file type. Content type. That might be what I want. Maybe. Content type. So you're going to be a sum. And then I want to probably do I want to do an early return? Probably do want an early return. So we'll just break out of here. And that's, we'll tracing this. Oh, file type is what I called it, not content type. Oh, right. I need to turn it into a string. File type. Okay, so I need, nope, not that. I need to map. Okay. Okay, so let's try that. And let's see what our content type is. Content type. Okay, image / PNG. Oh, there's a MIME type, so you won't get file extension. Oh, that's too bad. I was really hoping that I could just sort of get the MIME type. Is that something I can get? I get this as the content type, and that's set for me by whatever is sending it for me. But that's I can't just like set the like a dot to it. Although we could use the file name for it. Like that just works. Because we had the file name. What if we just use what if we just use that? That's actually more of a cheat. Can I get the MIME type? Is that something I can do? No, I can't get the MIME type. So okay, our choice is I can extract out the PNG with the slash here and get the second thing and just set dot to that, or I can cheat and we just use the file name and just save that. Either way works. What's the thing after the dot? I forget what that is called. It's I used to remember that. File extension. Yes, that's exactly it. Thank you. So let's do this. We're gonna match the file type Esther. So if we get image / PNG, I want PNG. If we get anything else, I want to probably just and we're going to break out. We could actually just even do an early return. This would actually be a client error. So if I get the file extension like that, let's do, so here's where we can create the path, right? No JPEGs on our server, of course not. We only, well, I mean, the idea is that this is extensible now. I could probably create this as like a helper function somewhere in utils and then just grab that. Is it checking the magic bytes of the file or just trusting the content type header? This is just trusting the content type header, of course. I don't know how to check the magic bytes of the file. I'm sure there's a way for me to do that. I bet that there's a crate to do that. So we can maybe look that up a little bit later. For right now, we're just trusting this, the first 4 bytes are standardized. Ew, okay, so I bet there's a way for us to do that and grab it, but that's a future problem. Oh, interesting. Automod held your message, Andrew, but that seems to be fine. Oh, you think it should be a status 415? What is a 415? Unsupported media type. You're probably right. There. Okay, so if we get the extension, so basically we can later on grab this out and grab it from like something else and get it correct. But let's start with this because it's after 5. I was supposed to end the stream half an hour ago. Dinner's coming up very shortly for me, but I want to get this like saved out to the file. So we're doing it the not great way first, and then I'll figure out how to do this properly later. Okay, so in the meantime, file extension. Okay, so we get that. Now we can do the path and sort of combine it together. We can, does it take a string? Or we could just format. We can say, I want the name dot that, and then you will be the file extension. Uh-oh. What did I do wrong? Okay, so create. Oh, this happens again. Every time that I try to like auto do something, it doesn't, like fails to, like it closes one of my, like it removes a parentheses that I don't want. Okay, so you're happy. So now let's do this again. We don't, oh, we have that image. Let's go ahead and remove it. So we run you again. There is our image.png. Okay, that's good. And if I open image.png, it opens in preview. So there we go. Okay, so what did we do? We set up middleware. So no, we didn't. There's no middleware at all. We set up our route to handle more multi-part data coming in. It grabs chunks as a stream coming down, and then takes each chunk. Well, I guess like it kind of figures out what it is. Not doing it the proper way, but you can imagine doing it the proper way at the beginning, like just sort of checking, okay, what are you? And then we open up a file. We start writing all the chunks to the file in just sequential order, and then when we're done, the file goes out of the nice thing about Rust is that I don't need to like call file close on it. It just, when it drops out of scope, it just does the right thing, which is always nice. So then we can open up the file and we haven't lost it. So what you could imagine doing with this, we could take the file at this point and we just keep it there, right? That's one option. Another option, and probably like if you're doing like an actual like repository of files, ship the file off to S3 or some other centralized file repository that you have. You can't catch error on file closing. Like if it fails to close, yeah, we could like there would be a lot of stuff that we could do to make this more like appropriate. We could after this loop is done, handle closing a file where we do like file.close or do something on it, which I don't remember. I don't remember how you manually close it. I'd have to look that up. But anyways, that's all like future us problems. This is why we did this in sort of like oops, sorry, I just hit the microphone. In an exploration code anyways. So I have the file. I tried to close. It didn't seem to have it. File dot. Yeah, there's no method named close on the file. And I do not want to put close on here because I'm still writing. Like this is part of the loop, and I don't want to close the file at this point. I want to wait until I'm done because the file gets opened here. We loop through and I append to the file here. And then I want to close it after we're done. But I'm not sure how to do that. But that could be something we look up later. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does close once it goes out of scope. So as soon as the request is done, right here, right here, it goes out of scope and the file is closed. So it should be fine. We can't handle, like if there's an error when it's closing, the entire route handler would fail then though. So we would still get like a 500 error essentially sent out. Thanks for powering through the rough patch today. You learned a lot about Rust. Hey, this is why we do the exploration time, right? We learned a lot when we do these things, and now we have a new skill in the bag, and we now can handle files and do stuff with them. Okay, so for any of you who might be thinking about using this in an application, number one, please don't put the file into a database. There's no reason to ever like dump these into databases. We have better systems for that. So like something like a file storage service like S3, just your disk drive, anywhere like that. You get a URL back usually to then access that, or you get a path yourself. You store that into the database along with metadata like the file type, the file name, the location of the file, the path of the file, whatever. Throw that into the database, and now you can let somebody else like, okay, query that again from somewhere else, and you'll get it out that way. And you can do all that after you've saved the file. So, all right. I think we've done a lot here. This is pretty good. Let's go ahead and save and quit all this stuff so we actually have access to it. That is a large file, so I am going to not include that in here. Okay, so we have, it's a little bit messy, but it is handling file uploads. Let's go find the code for this. If you are interested in this code, here is a link. So that way you can go and check it out. And you can do, you can use it as a reference. Obviously, it's my exploration. We're going to do it again the next time when I write the actual article and the lesson for it. Okay. I guess like final things, since we got a bunch of us here. Next week in the United States is Thanksgiving week. So I am actually going to be going and visiting some family during it. So I am not going to be at my normal studio and have access to like really high quality internet. Where I'm going to be is going to have, what is it called? It's Starlink internet, satellite. I've done streaming on it before and it mostly works. So, but there's going to be other people there. So I have no clue if I'm going to have like a private space, like a quiet area, or even a place where even if it was quiet, that like I wouldn't bother other people by streaming. So I have no clue if I'm going to stream next week at all, or it'll be like a day or two here or there. This weekend, I will update my stream schedule to sort of take away all the planned streams Monday through Friday. And every stream, if it happens next week, will be unplanned. I'm planning on working on either the LMS or just writing articles and working on sort of like the code bases. And then when we come back, we can do videos for those articles if I work on them. So that way you can, they'll still be like free tier courses still available for us. And that's the plan. That's what we're going through. All right, so we can take off our exploration hat. We're good to go. It's strange they have solved issues about adding close to file, but there is no close in standard. Interesting. Are you sure that it's not in drop? Like they didn't implement it in a drop trait as opposed to the struct itself? That's my guess is where it is. Okay. That being said, okay, let's go ahead and let's do a raid. Is there who's streaming? Looking at my Twitch. CM Griffin, we haven't rated him in a long time. He's making a, is he making Will It Blend? I'm going through the advertisement right now. MDTRO, thank you so much for the gift sub. Thank you for that. And also, thank you for the subscription too. Thank you for that. Just before it ends, I know. Thank you so much for that. It's awesome to have you as a subscriber. And also thank you, Josh Finney, for, well, I guess like you don't necessarily have to be here, but thank you for lurking and being part of the community to receive the gift sub. All right. It looks like he's working on some Go stuff. I think so. So it's yeah, working on some Go stuff. So that could be fun. So let's go ahead and set up a raid for CM Griffin. As I mentioned, I will be not back most likely next week, but I'll be on Discord. So if any of you are interested, I do have, oh, unraid? Nah, fine. Let me do Discord. I will be available on Discord all week. So if any of you want to join in, there is a link to that. Let me go ahead and set up the raid again. That's what I get for doing the GUI raid. All right, we are ready to go. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. We had a lot of fun getting some multi-part file stuff done. I hope that you'll have a great rest of your Friday. I hope that you have a great weekend. And if I don't see you on stream next week, have a great week too. And I'll see you when I come back, probably in a week and a couple days. So with that, have a good one. See you next time. Bye.